my gosh. Okay, so we're back.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. And we have video today. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
If there's no video, then something went terribly wrong.
Yeah. If there's no video, then we weren't in focus.
Yeah. Or something happened where I can't do audio and video, but hopefully this will be our first video podcast, which is so exciting. We finally got the chairs, the studio set, like everything looks so good.
I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited. But let's start off with how was your week? What'd you do?
My gosh, my week. I took my engagement photos this weekend.
That's so exciting.
Yes. It was like a really quick session. It was all on film. So I'm really excited. I think I'll get the scans back on Thursday. So
Oh my gosh.
I'm excited.
Oh, that's going to be so good.
I'm kind of nervy,
How
but
many rolls?
we shot like 3 or 4. But
That's a lot.
honestly,
For film, I feel like that's
like when you're
a lot.
not shooting digital, it goes by so fast though.
Oh, yeah.
Like I feel like we probably needed more. But
Oh my gosh. I know. That's so crazy. I can't imagine. I haven't done any like sessions with just film. So,
yeah.
oh my gosh. I'm excited to see that.
My friend Elizabeth, who took my photos, she is starting like her photography business, but she's only ever shot film. Like she doesn't own any digital cameras. So I was like, yeah, we'll just do it all on film.
My dog is in the studio right now, and she's looking at all the cords being like, oh, where can I lay down on them?
Right?
Right on them. So that's cool. At least we're still recording. All right, Layla, you got to stay there. Oh my gosh. Well, no, that's so exciting. Engagement photos. Are you going to do anything with them? Or is this going to be like the announcement that you post on Instagram? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
like,
gonna
tell
make
us
a
everything
post.
and share it to the world.
We're gonna make a post. We don't have like any photos together, so this is like our first.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lie. We have some photos, but we
Not
don't.
enough.
Yeah, like
I
our
forgot.
hair was different,
Yes.
like different seasons of life. So I'm excited to finally share on Instagram that we're engaged.
Oh, yay.
So-
That's going to be so fun.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait. Oh, that's going to be so good. But how are you feeling about the new year? I wanted to ask you that too.
Well, I went to Pilates this morning.
Oh, yes. How'd it go?
It was amazing.
Like
it was
first-
very hard.
Was it like first day back this year or like?
Second day.
Oh, then you're doing great.
but like starting my routine now.
Okay, yeah.
So-
I know I need to get back into the working out, but I'm trying to do like things step by step, like kind of like focusing on like things that I
Oh, she moving the light.
she moved the light. I'm gonna take a picture and I'm gonna have to post it on like the
Yes.
video because it is so funny that she's just laying on top of all of her stuff. Hold on. If it's not me messing something up, it'll be my dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, just make yourself at home. It's fine. I mean, I guess it is your home technically, but oh my goodness. Anyways, so the new year. Okay, so you're feeling good about it. I was just saying that I'm taking like small steps. I don't want to do too much at once because that's how I always like just ruin everything.
Yeah. Seriously. Go
that's
too
good.
hardcore too fast.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel pretty good about the new year. Like peaceful, like I said last time. It's just kind of like I'm getting into it. I'm not trying to do too much at once because I know sometimes like, or at least for me in the past, it's been like go. Like the start of the year, I have to do this and this and this, and it's just been kind of like too much. And then you by February, you're like, okay, I don't care about anything.
And we're already implementing like a whole new schedule by doing this podcast too.
Yes,
so it's like
that's true.
that is the one major thing that we're changing. So I feel like any other little changes can come in increments.
Yes, yeah, exactly. No, that's so true. That's good. Oh my gosh. Anything else? What else is new with you? Engagement pictures.
Oh, well, since we like posted about having our podcast, I've just been getting so many like DMs and encouragement for the hype of it.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I got a few too, and I need to post about it again because I posted about it once, and I just need to like keep posting it. And yeah, I was surprised about like the
Me
outcome
too.
of it because I just was like, no one's gonna care. Like,
Right.
There's another podcast, 2 girls. Like, what's new?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was really excited. I think we're up to like 50 followers or something, which is honestly pretty good
For one
like,
day?
yeah, for one day of
Yeah.
hosting it, especially like on a weekend too.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that's really really exciting. Oh my gosh,
Mm.
this is gonna be good. And we've been pretty on it and like getting things done like pretty fast. Like the set, I didn't think we were gonna do the set until like maybe March, but it kind of just all came together
Yeah.
really well. And I'm like a little surprised, but not, because I'm like I don't know. I like things to be like done fast, because then my energy just flows better that way. And if I wait too long, I'll be over it.
Yeah, the momentum carries
Yes,
us.
yes, exactly. And so that's why I was like, no, I just need to get it done now. I need to figure it out now, because then I'm just gonna lose that momentum. And so yeah, I don't know. It's been good to get all that feedback too of like
Yeah.
everything. And we're gonna go celebrate on Thursday, which is gonna be really exciting. And it's also Kenzie's birthday, so
Yes.
kind of like a celebratory day on
Yeah.
Thursday.
Because we're
so
launching on Friday.
yeah, which
So
is crazy. I know we haven't even launched
I
while
know.
we're recording this, which is wild. I'm still working on editing episode 2, but that should be done hopefully today. And I'm also going to my first networking event this week.
Oh,
Tomorrow.
I
Literally
was like,
tomorrow.
when? I was gonna ask you when that was.
Yeah, it's tomorrow. It's gonna be.
Are you excited? Are you nervy?
I'm excited. I'm a little nervous because I don't know who's going to be there. I don't know what to expect. I don't want to be like the person that's like in the corner, just like
Yeah.
smiling at everyone, just like looking around. I want to like have fun too, but I don't know. I don't know whether to feel excited or anxious or both or what, but I am excited just in the sense that I'm committing to doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I really don't like things like that, especially if I don't really know anyone. But I am going with my sister, who was invited by one of her friends, I guess you could say, that she met at a wedding. She met a mother of the bride at one of her weddings, and that mother of the bride is like a hospitality person,
Okay.
and maybe is like a part of like a wedding venue thing. I'm not really sure what she does, but she met her, and so she's been inviting my sister Stephanie to like all these things. And so that's how Stephanie found out about the event and then was telling me about it. And I was like, ugh, I mean, I guess I'll go. Like, I might as well. Like, I did say that I was like wanting to
What's
do
the
this.
worst that could happen?
That's true. There's really not, I mean,
Nothing.
nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing really bad can happen, except for maybe like I feel awkward like doing a conversation, or like doing a conversation, LOL. About like walking away from a conversation, or like how I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know, being perceived is really my biggest fear. But no, I'm excited. I hope that I see people that I know, and if I don't, hopefully I'll meet people that I don't know. And just being in a room with those people, I just kind of like want to learn and like see what's happening. But is it gala? Is that how you say it? Because I feel like I've heard
Gala.
gala,
Gala?
maybe.
Oh,
I don't know.
goodness.
I'm like,
I think it's gala.
okay.
Gala? Gala?
I think. Oh my god.
I honestly don't
Gala. Gala? Is that what I said at the beginning?
Gala.
Gala. No. it's
Gala?
not.
I think you
Gala.
said gala.
Gala. Oh my gosh.
We're gonna have to fact check this.
Oh my gosh. No, I'm pretty sure it's gala. It is. So it's benefiting like kids who are facing homelessness, and they help them have birthday parties. And so
Oh,
it's
cute.
benefiting kids who have birthdays and like want to have like a little party for them. That's what it's like benefiting, which is also like really really cool. I really want to get more into like just like giving back, donating. And so like I think a percentage, or I don't know, I didn't see it on the website, but like either a percentage or like the whole ticket to the event goes towards
That's
benefiting
amazing.
that, which is really really cool. So I am excited for that. And I did rent some dresses for it too.
I was
just to
gonna
see, 'cause
ask,
it's
what
like
are you
it's like
wearing?
formal. And
Yeah.
I've never dressed that formal before, I don't think. Yeah, I've never been to anything that like required me to be formal, not even like a wedding. So I rented 2 dresses, and I still haven't tried them on, so that's fun. Hopefully I'll do that after after we finish recording. But what I wanted to say about that is I wanted to go into personal style because that's something I don't think I mentioned that in the last episode of our like 2025 goals, but personal style is like one of the things that I really, really want to get into this year, and like for the rest of my life. But yeah, so I really want to get into personal style, and I saw this TikTok and I sent it to you. It's an app called Index.
Oh, yes.
The coolest thing I've seen. It's like a app where you input all your clothing items, like your shirts, your jeans, shoes, everything into the app, and then it'll let you create like outfits, kind of like what you see on Pinterest, where it's like the collage of outfits.
Yeah.
You can do that with your own closet, which I think is so cool. And they also have like this wardrobe quiz where it tells you like your personal style words. And I did the
Oh.
quiz, and there are my words that it said. It's like my style archetype is what it's called. So the first word is alluring. Yes.
Alluring.
Second word, minimalist.
I can see that.
And then the second one is classic.
Oh, yes. I can
And I
see that.
thought that was pretty good. So you take the quiz and you can change up your words if you're like, that doesn't really go with me. But those were the ones they gave me. And I was like, actually, I feel like that's pretty on point with me. And so I also saw this other TikTok, which Miranda, if TikTok goes away,
I
don't know what I'm
know.
going to do.
I've been trying to binge so much so that I don't miss it. I'm like, I'm going to miss everything, which is
Yeah.
not good.
I know, and I
But
also went through my like collections to see like what videos I wanted to save because there's some videos that like I literally go back to.
like recipes and stuff like that.
There's so many things like I
Yeah.
have like hair tutorials on there. I have like makeup, and I'm just gonna be really sad if it does go away.
I know.
Because what are we gonna do? I don't think I've ever scrolled on Reels just to scroll on Reels ever. The only time I've ever done it is to like find a sound or to try to do my own Reels and like get inspiration from that, but I've never been. And even when I do scroll for like inspiration, I never find like a funny TikTok or like a funny reel. So like
Yeah.
I'm not.
Or if I have, I've already seen it on TikTok.
Yeah, and I'm like I don't want to do that. But anyways, I saw this other TikTok that was talking about personal style, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've gone through this I think my whole life, and I don't know if I've ever really had a personal style, or I've never really been thinking about it really
Okay.
before. Like I've been dressing myself for
Yeah.
a few years now, but I've never had like a intention with it. And so I saw this TikTok where it was like, you're not gonna be able to find your personal style if you don't dress up every day, or at least like experiment with things. Or she also said that she used to like be scared of overdressing because her friends weren't at that like caliber of what she wanted to wear, and so she never wore what she wanted to wear because she felt like she was going to be overdressed. And I have always felt like that.
Wow.
Always, always, always. And I'm like, why? That's the whole idea about personal style, is because it's personal to you. And so I need to stop like feeling afraid of being like overdressed or like not like wearing the same thing everyone else is wearing.
But also, we are wedding photographers. We literally, for myself, I only get dressed up on the weekends to go shoot a wedding.
Yeah.
So it's like, we have to practice every day, like working from home,
Yes. Yeah.
because otherwise, when am I gonna like wear all the clothes that I buy?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Exactly. And just being more intentional with like going out places
Yeah.
with friends too.
Yeah.
That's like another thing that I realized. I was like, well, I don't really go out that many places. So like we need to go to dinner, we need to go to like coffee shops or like get wine or something. And that's like when you'll be able to like dress up, I guess. But yeah, I just thought that was like interesting because I've never thought about that until I watched that video where I was like, oh, that's so right. Like you're never going to find your personal style if you don't dress the way you want to dress and you're not confident with what you're wearing, like and I was just like mind blown. I was like, wow, I think I've felt that my whole life, but I've never heard anybody say that.
Do you follow Allison Bornstein on TikTok?
I don't think so.
She's amazing.
Okay.
She has like a 3-word style challenge thing as well.
Oh, okay.
But for her words, the first one is like a word that describes how you actually dress, kind of like your basic like staples. And then the second word, I believe, is what you aspire, like what style you aspire to have. And then the third word is how you want your style, like, to, or how you want other people to perceive you, like a word that describes how you feel in your clothes.
Okay.
So it's like what you actually are dressing in, what you aspire to be, and then how it makes you feel. And like a combination of all three of those words, like some part of your outfit should have each of those words.
Interesting. Okay.
So I tried to do that a couple months ago, and my words were like classic. That was like because all of my pieces are very classic, like silhouettes.
Yes.
And then the second word that I aspired to be was romantic,
Ooh.
because I like, even like on my Pinterest, it's all very like romantic, like just like very feminine.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, I always dress very like masculine or androgynous,
Yes.
like
Okay.
with like the structure of my clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So if my silhouettes of my clothes are very like structured, then the romantic part would be like I'll have like a really pretty earring or like a clip that has like a ribbon or something in my hair. And then the third word was fun, because I want my style to feel fun.
Yes.
So that's where I like try and bring in pops of color.
I see. Okay.
Those, like, her method really helps me in
Yeah.
trying to put together an outfit. But yeah, I really want to download that app that you were talking about.
Yes, it's called Index, and I think it's IN. Hold on, let me double check. INDYX. So it's like you're indexing your clothes, but it's with a Y and not an E, which I thought was really, really cool.
Because you can take photos of your clothes,
Yes,
right? And
yeah.
just upload them.
Yeah, and she suggests like if you just bought something, you could just go onto the website and bring in that picture from the website onto the app too, so you don't even have to take a picture of it if you don't want to. But yeah, I need to put in all my clothes on there too, because I think it'll just be easier, because for me, since I've never been really intentional with it, I don't really know what goes together. It's kind of hard for me to just like look at all my clothes and be like, it's hard for me to put out an outfit if I don't see other outfit inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also because I just like have never been so intentional with it, and I'm trying to this year to just be like, okay, this is my style, and I want people to like know what my style is, because I've always just, I don't know, just dressed to fit in.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Or like not even to fit in, but just to fit into whatever we were doing, whatever other people were wearing. I've always been the person to ask like, oh, what are we wearing? Or like whatever. And I'm like, why don't I just wear whatever I want?
Yeah.
It's so easy. And I've been really good at like dressing up for the occasion. Like if I ever had like an event to go to or just like anything, I've been really good at like dressing for that occasion. But other than that, it's just been kind of like whatever I wear is what I wear. But now I've been more intentional with like the colors and like the silhouettes that I like, and the, the textures.
Yeah, you've been on your color game.
Okay, thank you.
I've noticed. It's working for you.
Yes, no, I really, really needed that. And I've always like looked up to, or like when I first met Kenzie, it's almost like she inspired me to start dressing not like her, but just like start dressing with more intention. And so that's kind of like what sparked the idea, because she's so like effortless in like the way she dresses, and it's very her. And so it's almost like I took that on, but then I was like, oh wait, I don't even like those colors. Like why would I want to copy her? And that's what I feel like I was doing subconsciously. But then I just was like, I just need to start dressing like myself. I don't know. That was a long tangent of what I wanted to say. But anyways, she's very inspirational.
She is. Yeah.
She's always doing something. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to do that too. So she really inspired me. But the last few months I've been like, okay, I really need to refine what I want to wear and like the colors.
And elevate, because that's your word for the year.
That's literally what I was gonna say, Miranda. Oh my gosh, yeah, no, elevating everything in my life, and that comes with clothes too. So I'm excited about that. And I actually just bought new loafers to wear for weddings, and I'm really excited.
Are they comfy?
They seem comfortable, but I didn't wear them long enough because they're too big. So I
Oh.
got to return them. I know, it's so sad. But they're Coach loafers, and they have like memory foam in them. So I'm hoping it will be comfortable. But yeah, so I'm also trying to refine my wedding style too. I don't want to be like everyone else.
Yeah,
I want to
that's
like
so
show up
hard.
the way I
Yeah.
want to like dress. But of course, like professionally
Yeah.
too. So I'm excited about doing that with weddings as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Anyways, that's it on personal style, I think. I know that we weren't going to watch any more shows, but The Traitors just started.
Shoot.
Did you watch The Traitors, right? Or no?
I watched the first season because you told me about it.
Yes.
And it was very good.
Okay. You haven't watched the second season,
No.
though. Okay. The second season, I'm trying to think. I watched this so long ago that I'm like, I don't even remember. Oh, the second season was better than the first season.
Oh, really?
Yes, 100
Okay.
times better. Yeah.
Because I remember, like, I knew a bunch of the people on the first season. And then when I looked at the second season, I didn't see very many familiar faces. So I was like, I'm not going to watch that. But I should if you
Okay,
did.
yeah. Well, of course, I watched the first season because one of my favorite survivors was on there, Suri.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
She was crazy. Okay, no, wait. The ending of that show,
Miranda. I know.
I actually cried.
It's so crazy.
It was heartbreaking.
Yeah, yeah. No spoilers, but
No spoilers.
Watch The Traitors. I know it's a lot more popular now, but like when I was first watching it, literally no one said anything about it. But the only reason I watched it is because I love Suri from Survivor. She's been on Survivor like 4 times. She's one of the best players that's never won Survivor. Like
Oh, wow.
she's so good, but she's never won Survivor. And so just watching her on this on the Traitor season, I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see like what happens. And so then the next season of Traitors was like all of my favorite people coming together.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Literally,
I need to watch
Miranda.
it then.
I watch reality TV, but the only ones I don't watch is like Bravo shows. I've never watched like the
See,
Real
I
Housewives.
only watch Bravo.
Okay, well you might like this season that just came out.
Okay.
But the shows that I've never really watched is like any Bravo shows. Like I've never seen any of the Real Housewives, and they're on there a lot.
Okay.
And then the other one is like The Bachelor, Bachelorette. I've never seen any of those, and they're on there too. But the rest of them, it's like from Love Island, Survivor, Big Brother, which actually that's another one that I've never watched. I tried to watch a few episodes. Not my cup of tea.
My mom loves Big Brother, so I grew up watching
Literally,
it.
everyone loves Big Brother, and I started watching it and I was like, am I missing something? Because like everyone that loves the TV shows that I love to watch loves Big Brother, and I just couldn't get into it. I don't know what it was. It just seemed very, to me, cheesy.
Yeah, I think if you don't know the lore of like, if you haven't been watching it since the
Since it
beginning,
came out,
it's
yeah.
kind of cheesy. but-
Yeah, and that's what it felt like, and I was like, I can't get through this, and I don't think I want to.
Yeah.
But anyways, okay, so it's like the Avengers. Like this is my Super Bowl. Like this is like all the people that are in like different universes on TV coming together to play like the most epic game. Like the challenge. I love the challenge. I love
I do like the
Survivor. I love
challenge.
Love Island. And so just seeing all those people in one house is just so crazy to me. I love it. And this the season that just came out is just like so many people that I love.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll add it to my list.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited.
It comes out like once a week, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
which is, I don't know. I sometimes kind of like that with shows where it's not like everything all in one day, because it kind of like gives me something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Just like every week, I'm like, okay, I need to be sat
Except-
on Thursdays.
Well, except I wish it was just like one day a week that was for me, but all my Bravo shows come out on a different day, so literally I'm like watching TV every single day.
I
so.
mean, I do too, but
It's bad.
is it that bad?
It's not that bad, but I could be doing more things with my life.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe I should. Well, I also watch a lot of TV while I'm editing. That's when I really,
Honestly,
really watch a
same.
lot of TV.
Same.
Which is exciting because I don't know how videographers do it. Or even when I was not recording the podcast, when I was editing the podcast, I was like, oh, I can't do anything else. I'm like, I actually have to listen to this back, which is kind of horrifying at the same time because then you realize your like speech patterns and how much you like cut people off or you talk too much. I'm like,
How
oh
much
my
I say
God.
like.
Yes, that too. And I realized that because on when I'm editing the podcast, I can read it too. And so,
Oh
yeah, I can see all of
goodness.
the things that we say. And I'm like horrified. But you know what?
It is what it
It
is.
is what
We're
it
just
is.
girls out here.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just
Oh my
humans.
gosh. No, exactly. So, anyways, yeah, the traders, love the traders. I'm so excited. That just came out. And also, RuPaul's Drag Race has a new
Oh,
season, and I love watching Drag Race. It's one of my favorite things to do. But, anyways, that's it on the updates for me.
well, should we talk about why we're here today and
Yes.
what we're going to talk
Why
about?
we're here today. Scary. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So me and Miranda had a wedding in October, right?
Yeah.
So I had a wedding in October and I invited Miranda to be my second shooter and it was out of town, so we had to drive there. So we had a little road trip over there and I don't even know how to start the
It
story.
was basically the craziest experience that I've ever been through on a wedding day. And so we just wanted to recap that with you because it is an interesting story. And I think it's honestly kind of like a horror story until the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until the end. And then it's happy
It's
ending. But
I don't know, it's just yeah, I guess you're right. It is one of the craziest stories that I have about weddings because nothing really ever happens
yeah,
at
I've never
weddings.
had
Like
a
they're all
crazy.
just like pretty traditional and anything that happens is just kind of like, oh, the timeline's behind or something like just
Right. But
simple. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know where to start this days. I don't even know if I'll remember everything about this day, but we traveled like how far do you think it is? Three and a half?
yeah, 3.5,
Three and a
4
half
maybe.
hours? 4 hours?
To Horseshoe Bend, right? No, not
No,
Horseshoe
no, no,
Bend. I
no.
always
That's
call
way
it.
too far.
I always call it Horseshoe Bend.
Horseshoe Bay.
Horseshoe Bay.
Yes, yes. So that's where we were going. And I was carpooling with Miranda. And so we go to Horseshoe Bay and we get all our stuff out. We're there early, I'm pretty sure, like an
Really early
hour
because we
and
wanted
a
to
half.
do really good on details.
Yes.
So we got there super early.
Yeah. So we got all our stuff out. And the first person that greets us is the mother of the bride. And she just kind of like tells us like what's happening and everything's good, but she's saying that the bride's just kind of like laying down, like she's not feeling too well. So I was like, oh, perfect. I mean, we're here early, like whatever, it'll be fine. Just let her rest. And the bride is just very low key anyway. She's not like, I don't even know if she had her hair done or like I don't think she was having anyone do her hair or makeup. Like I
Okay.
think it was going to be one of her bridesmaids doing her makeup. So she's very like just like minimal, very just like go with the flow. And so I was like, yeah, whatever, it'll be fine. And well, what happens after that? I guess that's like our first introduction to like what's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah. And it was like kind of like a weird, and like we walk into this big house and all the bridesmaids are up on the main level with us, just
Mm-hmm.
chilling. And they're just talking about how, like, yeah, she's just like really dehydrated. Like, and in my head, I'm thinking, oh, they just had a great time at the rehearsal. She'll get a liquid IV and she'll pep up, you know?
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's another thing the mom told me. It was that she was going to get an IV like
Well,
in an hour, right?
yeah, well, then she said, there's an IV coming. And I was like, oh, she's really dehydrated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But normally when that happens, people are good to go in like 30
Yeah.
minutes.
Oh, yeah,
So,
yeah. Yeah. Like it works really fast. And she said that she's done this before and she's felt better afterwards. So honestly, we just weren't worried because we were there early. I was
yeah.
like, I mean, we had hours and hours until the ceremony. So I was
Yeah.
not worried about it. I knew that she was really low key. So it was going to take like 10 minutes to get ready. Like I really was not worried at all. And so we just get started with the details. And that takes me like about an hour because we were just like, there was nothing else to do, really.
Well, also, the bride was like in a bedroom and we didn't know where her details were.
Oh, yeah.
So you went with the mom into the room and it's like pitch black in there. And once I saw that it was pitch black in there, I was like, oh no, she's really sick.
Yeah.
Because she was like in bed, like
Yes.
in her PJs, like actually sleeping.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So that's when I was a little, that's when my suspicions started to be like, oh, okay, this isn't just normal, like not feeling well.
Yeah.
And then while we were doing details, you could hear her throwing up.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was so sad.
We're so sad for her because I was just like, oh my gosh, this couldn't have happened yesterday or tomorrow.
Well, and her family was saying that she didn't even drink that much. Like, she barely ever drinks.
Yeah. And that's what I thought too. I was like, there's no way she would do that. Like, I don't even know her that well, but there's no way she would just like drink so hard that she's like.
But she's like hacking her lung like over here. So I'm like, okay, she actually did drink a lot and it's fine. You don't need to lie to us, but it's fine. Like, I don't care.
And from your perspective, you know nothing.
Yeah.
You've never met this couple. You don't know this couple or anything like that. And I just took their engagement photos, but I knew they were like so low key. They were in love. Like, it was just, I don't know. I didn't know what was happening, but I knew for sure, obviously, she was sick.
Yeah.
Especially when we heard her go to the
that was
bathroom.
very sad.
Yeah, that's when I was like, oh no, she really does need some time to just chill.
So the IV still hadn't got there yet. So we were like, okay, let's go over to the groom and we'll just take photos of them getting ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we went and did that.
When did we meet the planner? Was it before or after the?
I think it was after because we hadn't gone to the actual venue yet. We were still at the Airbnbs.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And everything was like pretty close together. It was like on the same property. So it wasn't, well, kind of. I think their groundsmen were a little bit further away, but everything was like pretty, I don't know.
Yeah.
Close together.
Down the street.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we go to the groom and he's asking me about her and I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I think she'll be fine. Like they said they were going to give her an IV and it was going to be fine. And I think when we were with the groom and the groomsmen, I think she was getting her IV is when they finally showed up because I think they had to call someone in from Austin or something.
Yeah.
And so
like the closest person.
It took a while, but again, like we had so much time before the ceremony that it was just like, you know what, let's just let her get her IV, chill for a minute. It's really not going to take that long. And so then I think that's after the groom.
Then we went back to the bride to see if she was ready.
Me not remembering anything. Like, what?
I have this, like, it's like replaying in my mind. I can see it. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So we went from the groom back to the bride's Airbnb and we could see that she was sitting up in bed getting the IV.
Oh, yes.
But still, like, in her PJs, no hair, no makeup, anything. All the bridesmaids are, like, ready. They're just chilling. So we're like, okay, let's go over to the venue. We'll take some detailed photos, try and find the planner while you just get situated. So then we get to the venue and we find the planner and Kim is like, have you heard about the bride? And the planner's like, what about the bride?
Oh gosh, I know. And I was like, what do you mean you don't know? Like, you've been here longer than me.
Oh, sorry, Layla.
And I was just like horrified at her reaction because she didn't know. And I was like, well, if you don't know, then who's like, I don't know, how are we facilitating this? Because the timeline's probably going to change if she's not ready within like the next 30 minutes.
Yeah. So you told the planner the bride is sick and you're like, she hasn't told you. And the planner, like, you can just see like the color drain from her face and she's like, don't play with me right now. And we're like,
I would
what do you
never say
mean?
that.
Like, she's just
for
sick.
funsies.
It'll be fine. And she's like, no, I'm having PTSD because my like last bride that was sick never showed up to the wedding. And we're like, well, that's not gonna happen. Like,
yeah, like she'll be fine. She's getting an IV.
She's getting
like
an
her mom
IV.
said. Well, her mom was also reassuring us a lot.
Yeah.
Like, Maddie, this is what she goes through. Like, she's gotten an IV before and she's been fine.
Yeah.
So
apparently she she does tend to get sick and throw up a lot. So, or she like had some stomach issues. So you were just kind of telling the planner just so that she knew the timeline was not going to be on time.
Yeah. Because I think I had talked to the mom beforehand where I was like, okay, well, if she's not ready within the next 20 minutes, we're going to have to do everything after the ceremony. I just want you guys to be sure that she can make it to the ceremony. So I'd rather her just like chill literally up until the ceremony, get ready, and then just go to the ceremony instead of like having, because it was also that day, it was so hot.
Oh, it was so hot and humid because we're like down south.
Yes, it was hot. It was humid. There was bugs everywhere. It was just like, I just knew that if she was already sick and I had to take family pictures, wedding party pictures.
Wait, can we pause?
Yes.
I think Layla touched something and I can't really hear you anymore.
Okay, we're back. I had to figure out my dogs. They're just destroying everything. It's fine. Not really. It's just like she's just like walking over everything like it's nothing, like it's a blanket or something. And I'm like, we're trying to record. Oh my gosh. Okay, so where were we?
Oh, you were saying how if the bride, you just wanted her to be ready for the ceremony and then you do all the photos after.
Yes, because it was so hot that I was like,
it was hot.
I can barely even stand out here for like 10 minutes without sweating and like feeling hot and just like humid. So I was like, there's no way if she's already sick and just like feeling terrible that she's going to be able to make it 3 hours outside taking photos.
Right.
We were supposed to do everything because they were going to do a first look, family photos, wedding party photos, and their wedding party was huge. So I knew that was going to take a long time. And I was like, there's no way she's going to make it through all that in the ceremony and then all the things after. So I was like, you know what? We're just going to change up the schedule. We'll do everything afterwards. Like, it'll be fine. Like, it's going to be a little stressful, but you know what? At least she'll be, walking down the aisle.
And you were saying, like, you told Mom, like, if we need to, we can come back another day to take those photos. Like, the priority is ceremony.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let's just get her married.
Yes.
That's all we can do right now. So let's just like focus on that, focus on her health, and just like try not to rush her into doing all of these photos and just being outside for too long. Like, as long as she makes it to the ceremony, I think we'll all be happy. So that's kind of like what I was telling her. And so, yeah, back to the planner, we were telling her that, and she was just like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Let me go check on that. And I think that's what she went to go do, right?
Yeah. So then we're left alone at the venue with the videographer just being like, well, let's get as many detailed photos as we can. And also it was so hot that the florist wasn't putting out the floral arrangements yet because they were waiting for the ceremony. So we really like had nothing to do, which was very strange. Like, I don't really like that feeling of just like sitting around not really doing anything. So I feel like we were there for like an hour, and then the planner came back and said, okay, so we're going to have to push the ceremony. It was supposed to be like at 4, I think.
Something like that.
They're going to push it to 5, and that'll be that. And we're like, cool, chilling. So we're still just like trying to make ourselves busy.
Yeah.
5 o'clock comes around and there's no ceremony.
Yeah.
So she's like, well, so all of their guests were staying at the resort as well. So they were going to take a bus to get all of the guests over to the ceremony. And so the planner was like, okay, we're pushing it back till 6, or ceremony was like going to be like 6:30. So at 6, they're going to go get all of the guests and come over here. And we're like, okay, cool. So we're just like waiting for all the guests. And also the groom had come over because he was like, what's going on? No one had told him anything.
I know.
Which I understand. You don't want to stress him out, but he was already stressed out.
Yeah.
Because he didn't know anything.
Well, and we also really didn't know anything either. So I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. So he came over and you did their groomsmen photos. So that was a little bit of like a task that we had.
Yeah. Finally got to do some photos.
Yeah. So then like all of a sudden it's like 6:30 time for the ceremony. All of the guests are being bussed over and we still don't know if there's going to
we're like
be a
outside
ceremony.
by the reception area and like guests are coming and I don't even know if they know.
Right.
So
We
I'm
had to
kind of
be like, no, go over here. to a cocktail hour,
Yeah,
please.
and I didn't even know what to do with that either because I was like, I don't know where to point guests. I don't even know where they're supposed to be going, where they're supposed to be at. Like, I don't want them asking me anything because I have no idea what's going on. So it was just kind of like a little stressful there for a second. 'Cause I was like, I have no idea what's going on. I feel like, and honestly, the planner for
She
the
was
wedding, she was
amazing.
so good at it. It's not her fault that we didn't know anything because she kind of didn't know anything, and she was always updating us, calling me, making sure like we were all ready to go or like just
Hmm. But
updating
she
us
was
with
like
what was
with the
happening.
bride for most of it, so it was just kind of hard. I mean, obviously you can't be in two places at once.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, we had to like corral all the guests to go to this one little area for a cocktail hour. And then we get the call that there's no ceremony. And we're just waiting on bride to get better so she can join us for the reception.
mm-hmm. So
Which is fine.
yeah, ceremony canceled. No
Canceled.
ceremony, which was scary.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, but like they still have so like much time left in the day, so it's whatever, you know?
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. It was just like, okay, well, if she can join us, she can join us, and if not, then that's
Yeah.
okay too, I guess.
But so I'm just like sitting here this whole time thinking, there's no way this bride is not going to show up. Right? And because especially like the planner was like so dramatic at the beginning saying like, this has happened to me before, this is happening again. I'm like, there's no way it's happening again
Yeah,
to
but
you.
her bride was different, I think. Where it was like, I don't, was she sick? I thought that
Oh
her bride
no,
was like, she
just
didn't want
was hiding in the bridal
yeah, she
suite.
was like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah. Which is wild.
Yeah, which is a whole different situation. We need her on the pod for that wedding. But yeah, so I think I guess we did have like a cocktail hour, but
It was like 2
before,
hours long.
But it was before the ceremony because
Yeah.
they
There
were
was
kind of
no
waiting
ceremony.
to see what was going to happen with the ceremony, so they just told everyone to go to cocktail hour and just get a drink. And so then at some point all the guests were invited to the reception, and
Yes.
we were just
But
kind of like,
your poor groom, he was running around talking to everyone being like, "Oh my gosh, like yeah, like she's sick, she's going to join us." Like I can't imagine having to go to every single guest and say the same thing over and over again.
I know.
He looked so exhausted.
You did look so exhausted.
But he had a good like smile on his face.
Yeah,
He was here for it, but
yeah. And everyone was so like, I didn't feel like the energy was weird either. Like I
yeah.
felt like everyone was like happy to see each other and like happy to see their parents, and I don't know, it was just like it didn't feel awkward
Yeah.
at all, at least for me. Like it didn't feel like the guests were like just like looking around, or like they were actually kind of enjoying themselves.
Yeah. It was a good cocktail hour.
Yeah, so it was nice, and we finally made it to the reception, and that's when we were just like, oh, we can do something. Like we were photographing people getting drinks, everything. There's like the ring bearer and the flower girls
he
were
was so
so
cute.
cute. Like, and so it was a good 2 hour cocktail.
Yeah. Well, and at this point, so I had never met these people before in my life. You knew them because you have been working with them, obviously, and you did their engagement sessions. And someone looking on the outside looking in, I'm like, listen, this girl does not want to marry her fiance. She's not here. I'm like, she's had an IV. Like he's getting pushed back and back. I'm like, she just doesn't want to, because I remember the groom was like, let me call her. And she was like, the planner was like, okay, yeah, try and call her. And she didn't want him to come see her. So I was like, oh, she's mad at him. He must have done something. She doesn't want to get married. And Kimberly's like, no, they love each other.
I'm like, everyone shut up. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you were like, they've loved each other since they were like 15. Like, there's no way that she doesn't want to marry him. And I'm like, okay, she's not here. So
Yeah, no, and I knew like she was really sick, and there was like a point during like cocktail hour that we were inside like at this little bar area, and he was playing piano, and his father-in-law was like next to him, and I think maybe his dad was nearby. Oh no, it wasn't his dad, it was the officiant was right next to him too, and he like started playing the piano, and after he played the piano, he went over to the officiant and was like, oh, like do you know how I started or why I learned piano? It was to impress a girl that I had a crush on in middle school or like in high school. I think maybe high school. I'm not too sure about the which one it was, but and he was like, "Yeah," and that girl was Maddie. Bye.
So yeah, you're like, they love
Please.
each other. I'm like, okay, they love each other. I just wanted it to be more dramatic than it was.
Yeah. No, I was like, this girl is sick. So sick that she couldn't make it, which is really, really sad. Like, I felt just like horrible. Like, this has never happened either. So I don't even know the protocols of this. I'm like, okay, well, if there's no ceremony, what am I going to do? Like,
Yeah.
I'm here.
What are we
you're
gonna
here,
photograph
Like, what are we going to
also?
photograph? And because I mean, we took a lot of photos, but it was just like of guests, of the groomsmen, and we did some photos of like the bridesmaids just like casually during cocktail hour. But yeah, it was just kind of like, okay, well, this is gonna be a weird gallery is what I'm thinking too. 'Cause I'm
Yeah.
like, well, even the videographer was like,
I
what
felt
am I
bad for
supposed to
him.
do?
He was like, how am I going to tell a story with
Yeah.
this coverage?
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah. We
bless you, I
just
don't
didn't
know.
know what to do, and at some point, I think the planner told us that she was just not going to join us
Mm-hmm.
for the reception at all. So we were just kind of like, well, we're just gonna do what we can, take pictures of
Yeah.
the guests having a party.
And
with
her
the girl.
parents were so cute. They like got on the dance floor, had their first dance, like just trying to like make it like things
Yeah.
are
And
happening.
also, her parents got married there.
Yes,
Her
that's true.
parents got married there. Her sister got married there, and so that's how I knew. I was like, this isn't just like a she just doesn't want to marry him.
Yeah.
It was like, no, there's definitely something going on, and I don't know her story yet because I haven't seen her since. But I definitely do want to talk to her about it just to see like her point of view and whatnot. But anyways, yeah. So they kind of like started dinner, and we
Yeah.
went to go have dinner with all the vendors and everything, which was fine.
Yeah.
And I think after dinner we just went back, and at this point everything was outside too. I don't know if we said that or not, but everything was outside, so the reception was outside, and so we go back outside to just start photographing people, get the party, and I don't
Capture
know what
the vibe.
happens after that.
Well, I do because it was very traumatic. So
I just can't remember if it was like right after dinner or if it was like
it was
we had
after
been
dinner.
there.
We had been there like maybe like 30 minutes, and we're
Okay.
like, okay,
And it's like dark outside.
it's dark,
by now.
twinkly lights everywhere. It was really beautiful. Like the reception
So
was beautiful.
Beautiful.
But guests were just kind of like mingling, and it was so hot that day that we had taken multiple trips to your car to go get water and put deodorant on and get a snack. Like,
and that's because we weren't even doing that much.
yeah.
So it was.
So I
that
can't
hot.
imagine how, if we were running around all day,
Yeah, how it could have been.
heat stroke.
Yeah. Well, at some point, I think during the reception, I was taking pictures of something, and I was like, "Oh, I need new batteries.
Yeah.
I needed to do something." And I'm pretty sure it was my batteries that I needed to go grab, or just like extra gear, because I didn't have anything on me. It was just like my 2 cameras on my harness. And so I went to go to my car, and I just left Miranda, I think, on the dance floor. And so I go to my car, and it's dark at this point, and like there's like an area to the parking lot where it's like really dark. There's no like twinkly lights or lights or anything. And I'm like walking, and I look up, and I see a white dress. And I'm like, who's wearing white? Who is this diva? And I like lock eyes with Maddie, and I like freak out because I'm like, wait, she's about to enter. And so I forget what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I go up to Miranda, and I'm like, I just saw the bride.
Yeah. So we're kind of like by the entrance of like the reception place.
Yes.
And like some of her bridesmaids are behind me, and they like start crying. They're like, oh my gosh, wait, is that Maddie? Like, I think she's coming. And I'm like, oh gosh, okay. So then we go back to the dance floor, and the DJ, or they had like a band, but like some person, the MC, was like, everyone, like, come sit down. Like, I need all the bridesmaids, all the groomsmen to go out to the parking lot.
Oh, wait. And before that, when I locked eyes with Maddie, I was like, oh my gosh, I freaked out. And then I went to you and said that. And then we both turn around, and the groom
Oh,
and the
yes.
officiant are
Oh,
in
yes,
front
the
of the
officiant.
band.
Yeah. On the dance floor.
And I'm like, just like kind of frozen. And Miranda's like, I think they're about to get married.
Well, we didn't even know that at first. I thought they were just going to have like a grand entrance. But then we turned around and saw that he was on the stage, and I was like, no, they're going to have a ceremony on the dance floor.
Yeah. And it was just like, and it feels like it's going in slow motion, but it is not.
No. There's like 2 seconds
We're
of all this
realizing
happening.
this in like a minute.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know, my head felt like it was spinning. Because I felt more nervous in that moment than I had ever felt at any wedding or anything. Because it was almost like the day was so calm.
Right.
And so
it was like a
easy
fever dream.
that it was just like, nothing can happen that I'm not going to be surprised.
Yeah.
And of course, no one told us that this was happening. I don't even know if the planners knew or I don't know if anybody knew, which that's another like question that I want to ask the bride and the groom. Like, who knew? Like, was this just like actually like a surprise? Like, was this planned all along? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so this was like all happening within like a minute or so of like me seeing Maddie, me going back to you, and then us turning around, seeing the groom and the officiant like on like by the stage, and just like realizing, oh my gosh. And
you can just feel like the wave of energy from like all the guests were like realizing what was happening. And like I have goosebumps right now because it was that kind of feeling. It was just like, oh my God, like it was so magical. Everyone's crying already.
So magical. This could be like a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
Like this could be a plot to a really, really good movie. It felt like a movie. Like
it did.
In that moment, I was just like, it felt like the cameras were on me and I'm freaking out because I have no idea what's going on and I have to capture this moment because it hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
And just like the most important moment of the whole day. With that being said, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to take pictures of the guest reactions because like Miranda said, it's almost like, I don't want to call it a rumor because it wasn't a rumor, but it almost felt like the rumor was spreading, or like the word.
Yes.
The word was like spreading throughout the reception space, and it was just like everyone realizing it and everyone like getting hyped up and just being like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Because I don't think they even knew. It was just kind of like, oh, the bride is here. And so then I like want to start taking pictures of these reactions, and I look down and my camera's dying. And I don't have my fanny pack, or like maybe I had my purse, but I didn't have any extra batteries because at this point, like I didn't need anything.
Right.
Like I wasn't worried about, I don't know. It's crazy because I always carry extra batteries in that one purse that I always have. I always carry like memory cards, batteries, everything. And this time I just didn't have it just because it was like such an unusual day for me. I think I just like didn't pack them, or I don't know, something happened. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I'll just use my other camera. That's why you always have a backup. Camera is also dying. So both of my cameras are dying, and I don't, again, like we don't know what was happening, when she was going to walk down the aisle. And so like,
yeah, it was like about to happen.
And yes, it was literally about to happen while I was like freaking out about my cameras. And so I look down, both my cameras are dying, and I'm like, I don't even know what to do in this moment, because I look over at Miranda, I'm like, will you go get my batteries when she's the one that has fully charged cameras? I don't know, like, why would I say that? But that was me being so panicked.
Yeah, I could see it on your face. Yeah,
because it's just like one of those moments where I like, I can't miss this.
Yeah,
I literally cannot. I can't miss this. If I miss this, there's really not going to be anything in this gallery. Yeah, I can't get my stuff together. And so yeah, she looks over at me and is like, you go get your own battery.
I was like, I gotta be here to take the photo. You gotta go get. And also, like, my batteries weren't compatible with your cameras because I shoot Canon and you shoot Sony, so it's not like I could just give you, because I had extra batteries on me.
Yeah.
And then the videographer comes over to me, and he's like, "Hey, do you have an extra Canon battery?" I was like, "Yes," because his camera was also dead. Because we were just sitting around doing that, like filming nothing all day.
And since we didn't know the ceremony was happening, like during the reception, like I can just go out at any point to get batteries. So it wasn't like urgent that I had batteries at me at all times.
Yeah.
The only time I'm really worried about it is during the ceremony, things like that, where I can't just like, BRB and go to my car and get a camera or an extra battery during the ceremony. So it was just one of those moments where I was like, oh my gosh, Miranda, you're right. Thank you. Let me go get my own batteries because you're the only person with a camera right now. So that was very stressful. And again, like this is happening within 3 minutes of each other, from me seeing the bride to me realizing the batteries are dead, and I didn't know when they were walking down. Like I didn't know how much time I had, so I sprint. I sprint because I have no idea when when they're about to start this thing. And I like kind of go into the parking lot, and that's where they're like all lining up, and I'm like, okay, I have a second. Because they were like, I didn't know they were also gonna like do the bridesmaids and groomsmen walking down the aisle, so like a typical ceremony would. I didn't know that, and so I thought I only had like literally like 30 seconds to go grab my batteries and come back, but they were all lining up. They were kind of like taking their time, and I was like, okay, I have enough time. I need to calm down. But I didn't know that, so it was just kind of like, oh my gosh, it was just like all happening so fast. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was freaking out. And so I go get my batteries. Everything's good. I didn't have to run back or anything. But yeah, it was just like the craziest like 5 minutes of my life, I think. I had never been so nervous because it was just like, I don't know. It was, yeah, the craziest thing that's ever happened to me. So yeah, that's something. Always carry batteries.
Always.
Even if the ceremony is canceled, you never know. You never know. Oh my gosh! But what's your perspective on that little time period?
It was, I don't know, like it was so magical and stressful and like exhilarating.
So exhilarating.
Because there's the dance floor and then there's like long tables that frame the dance floor.
That was also another thing.
And all the guests are standing up, so you can't really see where anyone's walking through the crowd.
We didn't know the structure. We didn't know where they were walking in from. We didn't know anything, so we just had to go with
the
what
flow.
was happening.
Yeah. And so I'm running around like trying to get reactions, and then all of a sudden I see Maddie walking in like her veil. She was stunning.
Literally,
like,
I could cry right now.
I could cry. And like she was so beautiful and natural. She literally had her hair in a claw clip with the veil over. I was like, you are iconic and beautiful. It looked like something out of like a Nancy Meyers like 90s rom-com.
Yeah,
like it was so beautiful,
so gorgeous. The whole setting too was beautiful, like the string lights.
It was all ambient light.
Yeah, and the florals from the band, and like the colors, like those, like I think it was like pink colors that were coming from like the uplighting of the band. Like
yeah,
it was just so pretty.
it was
And
so good.
the bridesmaids and groomsmen walked in from a different way, and then the bride walks a different way than what they did, and I'm like freaking out because I literally had to run over to her to try to get her kind of like walking down the aisle, and it was like between people, between tables. And I'll see if I can insert some photos of like that moment, because it is so, like, if you didn't know the context of the story, you'd be like, why would she take a photo with stuff in the background?
Yeah.
Because it was like the server tray tables, like food on the, like, what are they called? Yeah, like server trays. And so all of that was in the background. So it like if you didn't know the context of the story, you'd be like, what the heck? Like,
what is
this is so weird. But when I was like looking at it, I was like, this adds so much to the story of like, literally we all didn't know what was about to happen, like, or like how the story was going to unfold, which is really, really cool to see in photos specifically. But yeah, so we kind of just like had to just like, I didn't even tell Miranda what to do. We were just kind of like figuring out what we could take photos of.
Which is like such a good reason why second shooters are amazing. Because if it was just you, like you would have missed half of it.
Yeah.
Because we like had no idea where she was going. And like the guests' reactions were insane. Like I have so many photos of like just like people like tears down and like It was just
like
so
so
beautiful.
happy and like yeah, like bridesmaids crying. They're like looking at each other, like smiling, and it's just like
Yeah.
the best ceremony I think I've ever done.
Yeah, so she walks onto the dance floor. They're doing their cutie little ceremony on the dance floor. And again, everyone's standing up. So it's like really hard. Like you had the perfect angle to get like all of them. And I was like, okay, well, where can I be? Because everyone's standing up. So I went behind the stage and got their kiss from behind. And it's one of my favorite photos that I've like literally ever taken.
It's so good.
And that memory is like so special to me. And I'm so glad that I was there to witness it. And the fact that I got to take a photo of it is just wild.
So good. Yeah. Yeah. And also just like being able to like trust a second shooter too, because I didn't know where she was. I was just like, well,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, I'm just trying to get what I can, like, try to, because yeah, you're right. People were standing up. So it was hard to like, I didn't want to block anyone's view,
Yeah.
which I'm usually not super, like, I'm conscious of it, but I'm not like, I don't know. This one was harder to do because it was just like such a special moment that I'm like, I don't want to block anybody's view. So it was hard. But yeah, I was just like, just do whatever. We didn't really have a game plan. It was just like, get whatever you
Because
can.
their wedding party was like standing in a circle around them.
Yeah.
And they had like 11 people on both
Yeah.
sides. So it was like,
It was crowded.
it was so hard, but
Yeah.
it was so exhilarating.
It worked
And I
out
love
so
that kind
well.
of shit.
I know. It was so good. It was so good. So many good photos came from that. And I feel like we work really, really well together. Just seeing like my galleries that we work together, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just like the perfect gallery. I don't know. It's hard to explain because I feel like we definitely shoot differently, but it's like when we shoot together, like I don't know, the gallery just like feels like complete.
Yes, I love that.
I'm always a little scared of getting or like taking risk, which I'm trying harder to like be more like take more risk and not just get like the photo that I should be getting. But anyways, I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, just the gallery that I delivered to the couple is just like it's so unique and they're going to have that story forever and I don't know. It was just great.
It was magical for us. I can't imagine how it felt for them. Because then, so they got married and she's putting on a brave face. She was out there for like 30 minutes and had to go back inside because she was just too sick.
Well, and it was also still so hot.
Yeah.
It was
Texas,
nighttime
man.
and it was hot and humid. Everyone was sweating. Like it was a really, really rough day. So I can't imagine being sick through that too. And just already being hot internally and then just having to like be outside too. So she did stick it out for a few. I think I have one photo of them together smiling at the camera, which is crazy to think about because like I usually deliver so many photos of them together, like just like because you know you have a whole portrait session during wedding day. So the fact that I literally only have one photo of them like smiling at the camera is crazy, but it's like that's what happened.
That's what happened.
It was like the most I don't know. That wedding is going to be in my brain forever. And I loved how it unfolded even though it was like not how they expected, and I hope that they also feel that way too, where it was just like this was kind of like meant to happen. This is like it turned out exactly how it was supposed to turn out, even though it wasn't what they originally planned.
Yeah, it was magical for sure. One of my favorite days, probably.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's gonna be in my memory forever. It's like I finally have a story to tell everyone of like a crazy wedding day. It was just like, oh, it really did turn out so good, and that gallery is just like, wow, so many good moments of it.
Yeah.
But after that, yeah, I think she did stick around for 30 minutes, kind of said hi to some people, and then she did have to end up leaving, and then people just partied.
Just partied, man.
Yeah, it was really good. Everyone had a great time, and trying to think if there was anything else that we missed.
His mom was so cute.
Oh, yeah. Both of their parents were the sweetest people ever. Like they were so nice, so sweet. Friends and family were all so nice and sweet. Like nothing, I don't know, everything felt so
It was like very
good.
wholesome.
Yes, very, very wholesome. Very wholesome. So there's just like a few photos that just like come to mind. Like after they get married, they like walk down together to this like little area, and I have this photo of like him like with his hands on his eyes, like pulling them down because he's just like realizing like
What happened?
what just happened, and like how stressed he probably was all day, and just being like, oh, we got married, like we just did that. So he's like this. It's so funny to see because it was just like that's how I felt in that moment too. I was like, what just happened? So there's just so many good like little pictures like that throughout the gallery that I'm just like, oh my god, they're gonna remember this forever. And she's also gonna have like photos that she wasn't there for, but
Now she
now
gets
know.
to see what happened.
Exactly. She has like the other side of it, which is really cool. And so like the aftermath of that was me just being kind of worried about how she felt about the day.
Mm-hmm.
And by that, I mean, like, I don't know how she took that day. Like, I didn't know if she was going to be kind of like traumatized and like, oh my gosh, my wedding did not go the way I wanted it to. I did not feel the way I wanted to. I didn't look the way I wanted to. I didn't know how she felt. And so I did send her an email being like, do you want the sneak peeks? Do you not want the sneak peeks? Like, I just didn't know how she was feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to send her like sneak peeks and her be like, I don't even want to look at these right now.
Right.
Or like, I didn't know if she needed time away from it. Like, I don't know. I just felt like I needed to ask her, like, are you okay with this? Like, what's the vibe here? Because I'm not sure. You just never know what people are going to.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you were kind of asking permission, like, can I tell this story? Like, is it still too fresh?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do I need to wait a little bit? So I thought that was really great that you sent that
Yeah, because
email.
I just didn't know. I had no idea. Because I don't know if it were me. Like, would I feel that way? Like, it did turn out really great on our side, but I didn't know if that's how she felt.
Yeah.
And even just like the groom and everything, like I didn't know what their feelings were because we didn't talk to her all day.
Yeah.
I think I said maybe like a few words
Yeah. I mean, I should
at the
have
beginning.
didn't talk to her.
At the beginning of the day, because that's when I was like asking for their details, and I was like, okay, where are your details? Like, what do you have them? And that was basically it. And we didn't really see her again until the ceremony, of course. And even at the ceremony and the reception, I didn't talk to her. I didn't talk to her. I was just kind of like photographing as much as I could with her, like talking to people and like taking photos of everyone. So yeah, I just wanted to send that email, and she was fine. Yeah, I was like, oh okay. Like I again, like I just didn't know how to. I've never been in this situation before, so I didn't know how she was gonna react. If she was like, I don't want these pictures anywhere. Like I don't even want you to send them to me right now. Like I didn't know if she just needed time away from it, but no, she was like, yeah,
chill.
please. I would love my sneak peeks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, it was fine. She's like the sweetest person ever. Like seriously, I really do have the best clients. And so yeah, that story is like forever ingrained in my head. There was something else that I wanted to say about that, but I forgot. Oh, I told that story to Avery's dad, my boyfriend's dad, and he was like, looking back, do you wish you took pictures of her like getting her IV and like kind of like in bed? And I was like, maybe. Do I regret that? Not really, because I didn't know how she was feeling, and I didn't even want to ask because I didn't want to, because I don't know. I also don't know how she views me as a vendor. Like, I didn't want her to be like, why is she taking photos of me right now? Or like invading my space, or like, I feel horrible. Like, this is like the last thing I want pictures of. And so maybe I would have asked her if it was okay, or I don't know. I don't really know. So I was like, I wonder what Miranda would have done, or like if you had like a perspective on that.
I think it all depends on like the energy and the vibe that I'm like picking up. And it's like so important as wedding photographers that you be able to read a room, because if you feel like she could have been two different ways. She could have been like in her bed sick, and like, which she was, and not talking to people. It was very quiet in there.
Very quiet.
There was no
She
music
the
playing.
only person in there, dark. It was like she was going to bed.
Yeah. And even when we had gone back after we were with the groomsmen, her bridesmaids were in there with her, helping her with the IV, but there was no music playing. There was no like happy vibes.
Mm-hmm.
So in that kind of environment, I would just like intuitively feel like I'm not needed here.
Yes.
Um,
And that's how we felt. I feel like we were just like, at some point we were in the house and we were just like sitting there and I was like, we gotta go.
Yeah. And it's like almost like in that sense, it is like an invasion of privacy.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, she could have been like, yes, sick and getting an IV, but her personality might have been like laughing it off or like, and in that case, then I would have probably stayed and like snapped a few just for the memes
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, it's just all about reading energy. And it's such a skill that I feel
and
like.
it's so hard because at first I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even think I thought about taking a photo of her at all.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, I'm surprised he even like asked about it because he really doesn't know anything about photography. So I'm surprised that he even was like, oh, did you take a photo of her? Like, or do you regret it? Or like, would you go back and do it? And I was like, I don't think so. Like, it just wasn't the vibe.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, like, if anything, like her friends maybe have a picture of it, and so they can remember.
Right.
And it's like, it's so. I mean, how is she gonna forget that?
Right.
Too. So I don't know. So I thought that was an interesting question that he asked me too. But yeah, it was just like a lot of learning lessons with this one of like how to deal with the chaos and like and of course not every wedding is gonna be like this, but it might be. You never know. So bring your batteries everywhere.
Everywhere.
Always have a backup camera. Always have extra of everything. Make sure you have a second shooter. I think I've always, like, when I first started, I was kind of against second shooters, but now I don't think I can shoot weddings without second shooters.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say is my background in weddings, for a year, I like exclusively shot elopements and like micro weddings. So I'm not used to having a second shooter, but, and kind of like you were saying, I've always just kind of felt like very independent. Like I can do everything by myself. Like I don't need a second shooter. But after like having experiences like that, it's just like having someone there, even just for like the peace of mind, and even just like to have a friend there, because if you wouldn't have had me, you would have been alone for like hours doing nothing.
Yeah.
So even just having a friend there is really nice.
Just
so
having support.
Yeah,
I think
support.
that's like a big one for sure. Because, of course, like, I don't know how you felt like in that moment where I was like realizing like my cameras are dead and this is about to happen. But like for me, it was so stressful. Like I really had not felt like that in a really long time. And I needed that support of being like, no, Kim, you go get your batteries because I'm the one that has full batteries and I can capture whatever you're about to miss. And I couldn't even think straight. So just like having that support and someone like a little bit more grounded. And of course, when you're the lead, you have a lot more stress. And when you're the second, it's a little bit less stressful. So I don't know if you were even stressed at all during that time, but just like having that support and being like having someone just kind of like level headed where it's like, not that it wasn't important to you, but it wasn't like freaking you out.
Right. I think I felt more excitement in the moment. Like,
yes,
this is happening. But I could be like, I got you. Like, I can take this photo for you. Like, you can go.
Yeah, exactly. So just having that support was just like amazing. And just like for all my weddings, I think that I'm going to have a second photographer, at least someone there to help me with whatever I need help with and support with, because it really does make a difference for sure. But is there anything else that you had about the wedding or any takeaways or any learning lessons?
Yeah, my main learning lesson was that I am going to add second shooters to all my weddings, even though,
Okay.
It's definitely changed my perspective a lot. And
and just having second shooters that like balance how you shoot too. Because we do have like a different style, but like together, like I said earlier, it just like adds something that my galleries I feel like were missing. And so just finding people that like balance, or finding second shooters that balance your own work is really good too. Because I don't know, it's just like I felt like I always needed a second shooter that shot exactly like me, but I think I don't like that now.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I just think there needs to be a different perspective, and anytime
Mhm.
I tried to find a second shooter that would like shot exactly like me, it was just like I was just getting the same pictures. I
Right.
was like, I might as well have done this on my own.
Right. So
And
that's
so
why you could feel like, oh, I don't really need a second shooter.
exactly. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like you're saying, if you are smart and choose someone to work with you that um maybe not even shoots in a different style, but is able to storytell, I think.
Yes, yeah. Or at least like maybe this also needs to be another conversation of like how second shooters shoot.
Yes.
And I guess it really does depend on like the lead photographer, because I've had some photographers that are like, no, I want you to shoot exactly what I'm doing right now. Like that they
Yeah.
don't want you to like kind of like go rogue or do anything. They just want the pictures just in case they miss the picture. And so they want the exact same thing they're shooting. But I've learned for my galleries, I'm like, I want you to do whatever I'm not doing. Like
Right.
I don't really want you to be right next to me.
Right.
Sorry. And some second shooters, it's hard because the second shooters that want to second shoot are like beginning
Mhm.
or like beginning or wanting to start weddings, and so they're wanting to be right next to you, just kind of learn and see what you're doing and whatnot. But
Well,
for
I
me,
think
yeah.
those when you're first starting out, you're very like couple like focused, like couple
Yes.
centric, which that's the lead photographer's job.
Yeah.
So as a second, you should not be where the first is and getting different perspectives from everyone else that's there.
Yeah.
And that's why I love it so much because I mean, I love like having a documentary approach anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
And as a second, it's almost like you can take more risk, and it's
oh
not a
yeah,
risk,
yeah.
which is so cool. Like
I love it.
I love it. Like I wish I would have been in your spot whenever you did the first kiss. Like
Yeah.
now I'm like, after looking at the gallery, I was like, gosh, I wish I took more risk with my weddings and not just gotten the same thing that I usually do at every wedding. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know, having a second shooter is just like the best of like just getting different perspectives and just kind of like having people there to support you and yeah, just add to the gallery.
I think we also work really well because I can kind of like read your mind of like what you need in that moment.
Yeah.
That's another skill that's really important to have is like, can you anticipate problems before they happen and can you solve them fast?
Yeah, exactly. Just like you said earlier, it's like reading a room too. So I feel like a lot of the time it's not the second shooter, but like the videographer can't read a room.
No.
Like some of the videographers I work with, I'm like, oh my gosh, this bride is about to kill you. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you saying that? Like, and it's just kind of like, oh my gosh. So that's another thing too, is like you just really do have to find someone that you like work well with, which is it's really kind of hard to find sometimes, but
yeah,
it's just like you.
That's why I tell everyone to hire About August Films because Abby and Justin, they know.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. No,
They're so good.
I mean, I have a few videographers that are not like that I know that just like would never do that. But I don't know. Sometimes you just work with like random people and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. If you're not on the same page, it can be very hard.
Very, very hard. But okay, I think that's it, right? Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I think we hit all the lessons that I learned. That
Oh
I
yeah,
wanted to
just
talk about.
storytelling through like a small amount of images, which is
Oh,
funny
yeah.
because the gallery had a lot of images.
Well, yeah.
Like a lot. And I
Yeah.
guess maybe if the reception didn't happen. I mean, I don't know. There was still a lot. Like I feel like I got every guest at that wedding. I don't
Yeah.
think a guest was not like every guest was in a photo
Mhm.
at least once in that gallery.
Which
So,
is really nice.
yeah.
Like we had the luxury to do that.
And then yeah, become friends with vendors you're working with.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, those relationship skills will book you work in the future for sure. Just like being friends with people and just like being nice to one another. Like you just never know where that friendship might lead and
Yeah.
like what the people you're gonna meet.
Because on a stressful day like that, we could have been like staying like away from the planner or like
Yeah.
not being as engaged with everything and just like being in our own little world.
Yeah,
but
like imagine if we didn't tell her.
Yeah.
I don't know what would have happened if we didn't tell her about like her being sick.
Right.
She just would have been in like, she would have been like, why are you not taking family photos right now?
Yeah.
Like, why are you sitting down on the couch just doing nothing?
Right.
So that's very true. But all right, I think that is it for the end of the episode. We will see you guys next week. And don't forget to like, subscribe, give us 5 stars, nothing less.
Please.
Or I will cry. I am sensitive. But yeah, so I hope the video turns out well, and hopefully my dog didn't ruin everything, but I think we'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
But all right, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.